Hey everybody, Will Campbell here with the Campbell Group in Royal LePage Atlantic, and this is your real estate market update for Halifax for the month of April. Okay, so I'm sure you guys are starting to get used to these types of videos. So first and foremost, let's just take a peek at the numbers. So for the first time in about a year, we've seen the average cost of a detached home decrease in the month of April. It went down 2.2%. It went from just over 644,000 to just over 629,000 in the month of April. Semi-detached homes were down 1%, pretty insignificant loss, but a loss nonetheless. They went from selling for 503,000, just over 503,000, to just under 500,000. Condos were up a staggering 15.8%. Pretty alarming rate, but there were about $7 million plus condos that sold in the month of April, so that might be the reason for that. And mini homes continue to climb, 7.9% appreciation in the month of April versus the month of March. Now in aggregate, if we look at the entire real estate market, basically price didn't move in the month of April, which is a good thing because we've been seeing rapid growth over the past few months. The average price went up 0.37% from $590,908 to $593,105. Pretty insignificant increase, but you could look at that and say, well, this might be signs of the market starting to slow down. Now, if you follow any real estate agents online, you've probably heard by now at least a few of them talk about how the market is shifting. And here's why I think two things. A, they're probably right, and B, it's too early to tell. Here's the reason why I think it's too early to tell. Price went up, but pretty insignificant amount in the month of April. However, if you look at basically every year in the past, including 2021, including 2020, when all this real estate boom was going on, April is always a down month. Price has always gone down in April versus other months. And the reason for that is inventory. People tend to list their house in April. The more people that list their house, the more there is for buyers to pick from, the less competition there is on each individual house, and therefore the less likely that house is to sell for an astronomical price. So if you look at April numbers alone, you would say, well, this happens every year. There's always an influx in listings and houses always sell for a little bit less. So it can't really be the sign of the market cooling, because if we look at historical years, it's just going to pick right back up again in May. But here's why I think that's not the case. And here's why I think that the market might actually be shifting. The month of March was the first month that we had seen in a while where every class of property didn't just appreciate wildly compared to the previous month. It was the month where things, they did go up in value, and they went up in value quite a bit, but not a super alarming amount. And the reason why I think that happened was because we had a fair amount of listings hit the market in March, 727 to be exact. So then compare that to April, the month where things normally settle down and we normally have a big influx of listings. We ended up with 872 listings in the month of April. Super large number, and probably the reason why price didn't move too much. Now, fast forward to today, 11 days into the month of May, we are currently sitting at 399 listings. Meaning if we continue on this trend for the month, we will end up with just over 900 listings, more than what we got in April. So April was a big month for listings. May is shaping up to be an even bigger month. What will happen in June? Are listings going to die off and the demand pick right back up and you start to see multiple offers again? Possibly. Or we might just continue with this large inventory, this surge of listings coming to the market, which I think is going to happen. I think sellers over the next few weeks are going to start to get a little bit nervous as we start to see houses not get multiple offers on them, and you start to see people not get the numbers that they're starting to expect to get for their house. I think word's going to get around, and I think people are going to start to get a little nervous and think that this might be the peak of the market, and they are going to rush their homes for sale. Great news if you're a buyer, not so good news if you're a seller. Do I think your house is just going to sit on the market for 90 days now like they used to and sell for $20,000 below the asking price? No, I don't think we're going to get to that point. But are you for sure going to get 25 showings on your house over the course of one weekend and 7 offers? Probably not. Keep in mind, houses that show very well and are priced properly do get a lot of attention, so they will likely still run into competition. But just your average house, your average semi in Sackville or Eastern Passage that there are 15 streets full of them, they're probably not going to see the same action that they were seeing in February. And the reason for that is there will probably be another one for sale next week. So buyers are less likely to throw everything they have at it. So what does that mean for sellers? Does anything change? Should you not list your house right away? Should you wait? Is there a certain time that might be better than others? Should you wait until the spring and the summer's over and list in the fall? Honestly, I probably wouldn't wait. I think today is just as good of a time as ever. I think the strategy just changes in how you should list your house. One of the things that we're starting to see in the marketplace, a lot of are price adjustments. Now, normally a price adjustment would imply that somebody listed their house, didn't get the number that they wanted, and now they're adjusting the price downward in order to draw more attention to their property. That's not what we're seeing. What we're seeing is people list their house, leave it open for offers for a few days, and then inevitably not end up getting the offer that they're looking for. They might still get an offer, but it's not the number that they're looking for. So they may have listed at $500,000, but in their mind, they really wanted $550,000. So when that offer comes in for $510,000 or $515,000, they don't want to take it because in their head they thought they were going to get $550,000. Now, I've always told my clients you should never list a house for anything lower than what you'd be willing to take if it were your only offer. But not everybody operates like that. So what we're seeing is people list their house at, again, let's say $500,000. They do a weekend worth of showings. They don't get the offer that they want. So then on Monday morning, they end up adjusting the price upwards to $550,000. That's their way of communicating to the market. Hey, we didn't get what we were looking for. What we actually want is $550,000. So if you'll pay $550,000, you've got a deal. Is that a good strategy? Depends on who you ask. I mean, transparency is key, and I do think that upping the price to the number that you are willing to take is the right move, rather than just letting it sit at $500,000 and having people come through and trying to convince every single one of them that they got to pay $50,000 over the asking price in order to do a deal. But if $550,000 was what you wanted, you should have listed it at $550,000 to begin with. So what are we going to start to see happen now that houses aren't for sure getting multiple offers? Well, I think you're going to see higher list prices. I think if realtors and the owners think that the house is going to sell for $500,000, I don't think you're going to see as many people list at $350,000 or $400,000. Knowing that they're going to get multiple offers and it's going to get bid up. I think you're going to see people start to list their houses for closer to what they think it's actually going to sell for. Also, the trend over the past 2 years was to hold offers. Now, for those of you who don't know what that means, the common practice was, you list your house on a Wednesday or a Thursday or whenever, and then you allow showings for, say, 3 to 5 days. I've always been 4 days. I like to list on a Wednesday, do showings Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then what I say is all offers are to be received on Monday morning. So that gives everybody the weekend to go view it, digest the information, and come up with a number that they want to present. I think that strategy is going to start to become less and less common. That used to happen on almost every listing. Now that it's no longer a given that houses are going to get multiple offers, I think you're going to see the trend more towards leave offers open for 48 hours. That's going to give the seller the freedom to accept an offer whenever they'd like, but it's also going to give them the ability to not have to make a snap decision at the first offer that comes through. They can at least allow a few other groups the opportunity to either write an offer, go view the property, or whatever before they ultimately decide what they're going to do. So tip, if you're a seller, list your house for closer to what you think it's going to go for. Don't bank on getting multiple offers anymore, although you may. I just don't think that it's a given anymore, and I think it's going to become less and less likely as we get closer to summer. Tip if you're a buyer, look for price changes. Look for listings that have had price changes at the beginning of the week and jump on them right away, because they have likely gone through the holding offer period without any success, and they probably would be willing to take an offer from you in a quick instance as long as it's what they're looking for. That's going to do it for this week's video. If you have any questions at all about the real estate market or what it's going to do or what it has done over the past few weeks, Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions. You can also click on the first link in the description of this video and book a 30-minute long phone call with me to pick my brain on anything real estate related. I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you. Thanks for stopping in to watch this video, and we will catch you on the next one.